Hey guys, Farmer Jesse here on a farm that I run with my wife, where my kid runs around in the compost pile and sometimes gets in the garden beds, but that's okay, it's okay. But where are you? Where are you in your journey to get your own farm? Because you clicked on this video for a reason. You've thought about it, you've been considering getting a farm, you've been dreaming of one, you've been maybe reading the books and all those sorts of things, but where are you in that process? For this week's video, let's go through maybe 5 steps that will get you here. I mean, not literally here, like your own farm, because you've been dreaming about it. You've maybe even drawing it up or even looking at land. Let's get you to that land. Let's do it. All right, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button. A little bell will pop up. Hit that too so you get the notifications when we put up videos. All right, so let's dive right in. The first thing that you really have to consider is you need to educate yourself on farming, on the kind of farming you want to do. Now, this may be an internship. I love internships. I met my wife during an internship. I did 2 of them myself. It's a great way to immerse yourselves in the farming lifestyle. So it's not just about learning rotational grazing or market gardening. It's also about learning how to work, how to physically work, how hard you have to work, how much you have to work, and the kinds of things that go into the farm work. Now, the amount of education you'll need is totally up to you. I can't determine that for you. Somebody who does an internship for a few months and reads a bunch of books and watches all the videos can probably do a pretty good farm. Or somebody who's just really dedicated and really thinks it all out and pays attention to what the books say and what the, professional, successful farmers are saying, I think you can do pretty well. You don't need an internship, but try and educate yourself somehow, some way. Go visit farms, go spend a weekend or your weekends for a year on a farm. Just figure out a way to get immersed in it enough to know how physically hard it can be, but also just what to expect from farming and what the lifestyle is like. All right, the next important step is a very important step, even if it maybe doesn't sound like it. You need to make your budget. You have to determine your budget. You have to know how much money you have to make. This is before anything. You have to figure out what your base bills are. How much is your rent or mortgage? How much is your insurance? How much is your gas? How much does your car cost you every year? All of these things go into making your budget. So your farm is gonna have to supply for some percentage of your budget. So you have to know how much money you need to make. All right, so step number, what am I on? 3? You kind of need to figure out what you want to do in farming. You can come at this many different ways, and we'll talk about that later on in other videos. So, like I said, subscribe. Just throwing that out there. But you need to pick an enterprise. You have to figure out what your enterprise is going to be. At least 1, maybe 3, maybe 5, but really like a few main ones. Like for Hannah and I, the market garden, that's our enterprise. That's our main moneymaker. That makes us the majority of our income in a year is made on the market garden. We have sheep. Let me introduce you to them. They're pretty fun, but they don't make us any money. They're just here because we like sheep. We feel like they do good things for the fertility. We like watching the pasture grow, and we enjoy having them mow some of the grass. And of course, sorry, fair warning to vegans, lamb is delicious. It's delicious. So your budget, right, will help you determine what that enterprise is going to be. If it's something that you have to make a lot of money really fast to kind of cover your budget, you may want to concentrate on smaller things like microgreen, pastured poultry, broilers, or even hens. Hens are not as fast, but broilers can be pretty fast. Mushrooms can be pretty fast, oyster mushrooms. Shiitakes can start fruiting in 9 months. I did a video sort of about this recently, and I'll just throw it up there in that little white card that comes across. Baby greens can be really profitable really fast. Running a CSA can be really profitable really fast. However, I will talk about the importance of running a CSA in later videos, but you really should know how to farm pretty well before you start a CSA. Because you don't want to start a CSA and have it be a failure and then your customers go away. So that's a whole other subject, but just think about the small, fast, profitable items, and then you can tack on some of the other farm steady stuff like we do, like the sheep or, some of the projects that maybe aren't as profitable but are fun for us, that we enjoy. It's part of why we got into this, is because we like being on a farm. So the other thing that choosing your enterprise will help you to do is to figure out how much money you need to start the whole thing. And you will need some money. You got to find some money. This is a big part of it. But anyway, if you know what you need for a budget and what kind of enterprise you want to go with, you can start pricing that thing out. and you don't want to start with nothing. Hannah and I started with basically no capital, and it's been really, really hard for several years. $6,000, you can do a lot with $10,000, $20,000. I mean, depending on what project you want, like if you want to do beef cattle, you're gonna need a lot of money and you're gonna need some infrastructure built and water and all those things. If you want to do something like microgreens, you can get into that for pretty cheap. The FSA does micro loans. You may need some sort of proof that you have farming experience to get one of these. That's usually like a Schedule F, the tax form for farmers. But yeah, you have to have some proof that you've maybe farmed before, that you've managed to farm, or that you have farming background or farming experience. However, there are other ways. You can just save it. You can just use some of your savings. Don't use your entire life savings on your farm. Unless your life savings is like 40 bucks, then I say, you know what? Let your hair down. Rock and roll. Try and diversify where you get your money. You may need to borrow it. Borrow it from people that you trust, from family. I mean, we borrowed money from family. Borrow it. You know, you could go to a bank if you had to. There are agricultural loans. I would go to one of the ag agencies first. Ag credit, farm credit, one of those. FSA, like I said. You could crowdsource it if you have a lot of people that are really excited about what you're doing. You could crowdsource it. You could go to one of those crowdfunding sites and really make a good video, put out a big call to have your friends just pitch in $5 or $10 to get your project started. So yeah, anyway, I believe that the amount of capital that you have to start with is directly proportional to your success in the first 2 years. I think that if you start with very little, your success in the very beginning is going to be minimal, because money is required to really make a living, to really get things going. You have to have some capital. Even if your main objective is to kind of have a big permaculture farm, really concentrate on those small profitable items first, because that will get you to that point where you can have a big, beautiful swaled farm, But here's the thing, something I don't think people appreciate when they really get into farming or they first start farming is that you need money to farm. Like if money's not your thing, that's not why you're getting into farming, I feel you. You're my dude. That's how it was for Hannah and I. We didn't get into this to make a bunch of money, but you realize really quickly that you need money to farm. You need money to do the things you want to do. Everything costs money. You want to build swales and put in an agroforestry system and silvopastures and all that stuff. It's going to cost you some money. Know that you're going to have to figure out a way to make money if you're going to dedicate yourself to farming, or do it full time like we do. The last step is be responsible. Don't quit your day job if you don't have to. If you can do it from home, or you can do it part-time, you could go down to maybe like a few hours a week just to keep in a consistent income while you get your footing. Let the farm kind of come to you. Build it, work your weekends. You're gonna have to work really hard. This isn't a step, this is just fact. You're gonna have to work your weekends. You're gonna have to work your nights and mornings. It's gonna take a year or two to get a farm started because it is a business. And I want you to watch this other video. If you've made it this far and you're super into starting a farm, watch this other video, because this is going to give you a realistic view of what farming is like. And it's not meant to scare you off, but if you know what you're getting yourself into, I think you can have a lot more fun and do a lot better for yourself and to meet that budget. Are you hyped? You should be hyped. I mean, it's not that exciting. These steps are not super exciting. It's not as romantic as just saying like, go for it, but don't just go for it. Like, think about this, because if you want to make it your life, you kind of have to just, make a plan for it. Follow these steps. Really, really think about it. Think about how much money you need to make and all those good things, and you will succeed. We need more farmers. Farmers are a dying breed. We're going extinct at a very quick rate, surprising, shocking rate. Real quick, if you leave a comment below with a question, I pick one every week to answer personally. So I will literally handwrite you, like in terrible handwriting, you won't be able to read it. I'll handwrite you an answer and I'll send it in the snail mail, like the US Post Office. You know that's still around? Yeah, I drove by one the other day. But I will send you the answer to your question in a personalized note. So that's our weekly contest. Otherwise, if you like this video, please like this video. Make sure to subscribe. Share it with your friends. Any homesteaders you know that want to jump up to a farmstead, send them my way. Otherwise, as always, make sure to hit that little bobble, that little subscription bobble will pop up. Just click on that. That's cool. It's whatever.
It's whatever.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow the farm on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. Everywhere but real life. That's just too weird. So, other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Bye.